Good morning. Let's get today off to a fantastic start. Let's make the rest of the week, the rest of the year, a fantastic beginning, middle, and finish. One of the most important things in business is counting things. Why do we count things? It goes back to that old adage you've probably heard dozens of times. If you can't count it, you can't manage it. And that's precisely the way it is. Many of us, when we start out in business, don't necessarily understand about counting, and we think that managing, particularly managing people, is just a matter of conversations and getting people to do their best and trying our best to do our best for them to get their best, etc. There's a far easier way of managing people and of managing business. The whole thing comes down to understanding your numbers. It's not about anything else. It's about understanding your numbers. Now, lots of people say they want you to understand their numbers. I say it to my clients quite regularly. I want them to understand their numbers. Now, understanding their numbers doesn't just mean knowing what they say. That is, X number here and X number there. And there are numbers everywhere. If you look at your profit and loss statement, you've got numbers at the top of it, you've got numbers in the middle of it, and you've got numbers down the bottom of it. Sometimes the number down the bottom is a bit scary. Regardless of which way it is, sometimes it's scary. So it's understanding what those numbers are actually telling you. And in order to get those really good numbers on your P&L and on your balance sheet, the best way to get those is to understand the numbers about what it takes to deliver the good results. The same numbers that tell you the good results are the numbers that tell you the bad results. It's just that the numbers in each case are different, but you're counting the same things. If the numbers are poor, the outcome's going to be poor. If the numbers are good, the outcome's going to be good. It gets that simple. It really does. It's knowing what to count. There's that old adage in business that in business many things are counted which simply do not count. That just means that some of us are counting stuff that really doesn't make any difference. If we can figure out what it is that makes a difference and count it, we can manage it. How can you manage stuff just because you have some numbers that are telling you things? That's the important part. The numbers are telling you things. If, for example, we make this really simple, you have to speak to a certain number of people in order to have a person become a customer. Now, every business has that situation. Regardless of the skill of the operator, that operator needs to speak to a certain number of people in order to achieve one successful outcome, that is, a customer. There are other things to count from there on because we want to look at what the customer does. Does the customer buy a lot? Does the customer buy a little? What type of things does the customer buy? And we want to know the numbers around that. But looking at the really simple arrangement of we have to speak to a certain number of customers to get a certain number of people to arrive at a customer. When we know that, we can check our own performance. So if, for example, we have to speak to 10 people in order to find one customer, we know that if we want more than one customer, we have to find 10 people times the number of customers that we actually want. So if we want 3 customers, we need to be able to talk to 30 people. Now, other things that we can look at in regard to that is how long does it take us to talk to 10 people? We need to have enough time to talk to 30 people if we want 3 customers. Now, I'm making this simple just because it's something that's really, really important to grab hold of, to understand the importance of counting these things. When we look at that, let's say for argument's sake that we need to talk to 10 people to get one customer, but we want 3 customers, so we have to talk to 30 people. If it takes us a week to speak to one customer, or sorry, to speak to 10 people to get one customer, then we've got to work 3 weeks to get 3 customers. If we want that number of customers in 1 week, then we have to do something else. We either have to address our own performance, that is, change our performance so that we are speaking to fewer people to get those customers, because if we're going to try and talk to 30, we haven't got time. If it's taking us all week to talk to 10, or we have to get somebody else to talk to people to encourage them to become customers. Now, that's a really simple view of what it is to understand your numbers. But in understanding your numbers, you'll find your performance will change. You'll find your business will change. You'll find that things grow, things multiply. You become better at what you do. You might even become more discerning at what you do. You might change some of your behaviours in order to achieve a better outcome. At the end of the day, if you want your business to improve, you need a better outcome. Improving your business delivers a better outcome. How do you improve your business? Count what's happening. By counting what's happening, looking at those numbers, what's the wonderful thing about numbers? They're objective. Now, if you're talking to a person who's giving feedback on a particular thing, that person might, they might colour it just a little bit. Numbers don't do that. Numbers give you the facts. Analyse the numbers objectively, and you can find that your business can grow considerably just through making tiny little changes right at the beginning. Have a great week and see how your numbers